All right, I wanted to touch about something that I found quite fascinating. Um, I was listening to some YouTubes because I have certain channels that are kind of in alignment with what's really on, like truth news versus fake news. And I was really intrigued by the fact that they were saying that most sports professional games are rigged. I guess there's money and betting going on behind the scenes, and they decide who's going to win so that the owners and leaders of these teams can profit because they know who's winning and they can bet accordingly. And I don't think the players know this, but it might be that there's one player, like the quarterback, or maybe two, that are in on it and probably get paid extra to throw the game or whatever. I don't really know exactly, but that's what I feel into. But I was just surprised to hear that in general, and I was like, yeah, actually, I'm kind of not surprised to hear that because everything else is rigged and kind of an illusion in our lives anyway. As you wake up, you start to realize how they try to create a reality. It's almost like the ultimate gaslighting. The media is ultimate gaslighting, by the way. They try to tell you how to feel and how to think and what to think. And they create a reality that they want you to buy, so that they can create this illusion that everyone is in on, so they get away with what they get away with. And anyway, sports is just another one of those. And they were saying how this last Super Bowl was the first one finally that was not rigged. It was the other team that was supposed to win normally, but they didn't do it that way, and the other team ended up winning. They also tend to, in the halftime show, have a lot of hidden symbolism, cultish kind of dark symbolism is embedded in a lot of the media and entertainment industry in general, if you didn't know that already. And very much so in the Super Bowl, because they know a lot of people are watching it and they're trying to affect reality and create an illusion and create this mass conglomerate of a shared reality that isn't even really reality. But at any rate, there was a lot less of that symbolism going on, a lot less of that darkness interwoven in there. And I kind of get the impression from how they were talking that, there are a lot of movie stars and rock stars and stuff that, unbeknownst to them, probably when they got into the industry, for some of them, and then others are born into it, so they really don't know anything else. But it is rigged as well. They can make you into a star through their marketing and whatnot, if you're willing to sell your soul, basically, I guess. And there's certain rituals they put you through, and movie stars have talked about this and how very cultish it is, and dark. And so, dark in the sense that it's very common for, say, a sports figure, a movie star, or a rock star to have where their leaders or this cult, kind of has info and photos on them that could ruin them. So it kind of affects them to have to stay trapped, even though they want out, but they stay with it because they can get ruined, in a day, really, because of the footage that's collected on them, and they set them up, really, with temptations and stuff, and then photograph it and video it or whatever, and then they're caught, and if they try to leave, then they get ruined. And so that's why you may have heard rumors of these famous people like faking their deaths, because it's their only way out. It's their only way to safely get out of what otherwise would be considered like a mafia or gang situation, or that's actually one of the definitions of a cult, is where they won't let you just leave freely with free will. And so they fake their death and they go live in a foreign country and, try to live out their days. Probably get some, they change their identity and their appearance and stuff so that they can pull it off. And you'd be surprised who's on that list. And they're all going to be coming out eventually, when a lot of this disclosure comes to the full masses. And John F. Kennedy is one of them, so that one's going to be an exciting one. Anyway, I just thought it was really fascinating because I don't really follow sports, and yet here they were discussing all these nuances about, this particular year of 2022 and how it was this time, because a lot of the performers, I'll say some of the performers were, because I think what's happened is a lot of them kind of had to make a decision and they had to pick sides and either get out of that cult by making some kind of deal, or they're still in the cult, which means they're going down. And anyway, some of them were already out of it and safe, and there was several of those this time instead of the others, which were, who were already still in the cult or whatever. And so, yeah, it was just interesting. I thought I'd share that because I found it fascinating. And you may not believe in some of this yet, or it may be too much to hear, and you can, just toss it aside, and it's all going to come out in the open at some point anyway. But I do find it very interesting to watch this movie, this fascinating, ultra sci-fi, dramatic, bizarre life that we co-created. It's going to get a lot better, so that's the good news. Those of us who are on the trajectory for going to 5D, we're going to be loving it. I just know that, in a couple years, with all the changes that are going to be happening, because there's actually going to be a lot of changes in the next few months, but even in the next couple years, this is going to be such a different world. And of course, if you choose to stay back in 3D, then you're going to probably, you're kind of setting yourself up for more of an Armageddon experience, because the 3D is ruled by not so conscious leaders who know how to do the illusion stuff and fake people out. And that's why The Matrix is such a great movie series, because it shows all that and reveals all that. It's somewhat like a soft disclosure of what's really going on. So anyway, some of you may be at that point in the road where you're going to have to make a decision that way and decide which side you want to be on and what kind of future you want.